I'm still trying to process what exactly I witnessed yesterday. I done seen so much greatness in just one night. So much greatness. Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Zach Lee. Thank you all for coming back. And LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. LeBron Russell, LeBron Russell, LeBron Russ. I love the NBA playoffs. So yesterday, we got to see the greatest player in the world in LeBron James. And one of the best players in the NBA in Russell Westbrook with their backs against the wall. We got to see how both players responded with their backs against the wall. And how they responded to that, look, for the love of everything, if you're not impressed, if you are not entertained, if you have anything negative to say about the way either of those two guys played at all yesterday, click off this video right now. Just be gone. And we're gonna talk about all of that, but first I do have to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or soccer, no matter what the sport, you guys can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off. Links are in the description box below. I am sorry a billion times to both LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. I apologize to both of you. LeBron, I'm gonna start with you. I'm sorry for ever doubting the magnitude that is your greatness on the basketball court. I'm sorry for ever letting even the thought of you losing in the first round of the Indiana Pacers enter my mind. Please forgive me, LeBron James. I'm sorry. When you were down 2-1 to the Indiana Pacers and barely struggled to win game 4, you know, I thought it was over. But I just seen firsthand, I have been reminded firsthand that there is no way that LeBron James will let himself lose in the first round of the NBA playoffs despite how great the Pacers have been playing. And to anyone out there who is still doubting LeBron James as a player, who says he's not great, he's overrated, who's saying any of that ridiculous stuff that people say about LeBron James, after what he just displayed yesterday, stop it. I don't know what you need to do to get all that hate out of you, but you need to do something because it is eating you alive. Just open your eyes and witness greatness in the moment. You're fortunate enough to be able to witness LeBron James play the marvelous game of basketball in your lifetime firsthand, and you choose to hate instead of appreciate. I pity you. I feel bad for you because you're missing it, my G. What other kind of player, what other kind of specimen in this entire galaxy, in this entire universe, in the scope of man, human, alien, animal kind can single-handedly overwhelm an entire NBA team by himself in a 7-game playoff series? And I'm not saying that LeBron James didn't have help yesterday, because the man had help. The man had a lot of help. Jose Calderon, dude, was fantastic. J.R. Smith couldn't make a single shot, but on the defense end, he was fantastic. Kevin Love still isn't making shots, and I think it might have something to do with the hand injury that he suffered earlier in the series, but he was still out there hustling, getting rebounds, and holding his own on the defensive end. Kyle Korver was fantastic. Those guys were all out there hustling, but let's keep it real here. LeBron James won the Cleveland Cavaliers this game. He wins the Cleveland Cavaliers every single game. Without him, all the hustle, all the energy of the other guys, it wouldn't have meant a single thing. This guy, LeBron James, as soon as the Cleveland Cavaliers stepped out of the locker room for the second half, was attack mode. Attack, attack, attack. He was like, I'm going to instill the very definition of fear itself into the Indiana Pacers. You know, Bogdanovich, people have been saying, you've been doing a pretty good job defending me this series. Well, that stops right now. You about to get this work. Your entire team, whoever you sending me, they're about to get this work too. Can't none of y'all guard me. That's the mode LeBron James was in that second half yesterday. Credit to the Indiana Pacers though. All credit to the freaking Indiana Pacers. For real, LeBron James was in his bag last night. They were playing on the road. They were down 11 or 12 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the fourth quarter. The crowd was going crazy. It was a playoff atmosphere. I wouldn't have blamed the Pacers at all if they folded under that pressure. If the game got out of hand and they wound up losing by 20 or so points, I wouldn't have blamed them at all. But that team has absolutely no quit in them. They weren't giving up no matter what. The Cavs would hit him with the 1-2 punch. The Indiana would come back and hit him with the 3-4 punch. Even up until the very end, they were fighting with like a minute left. They were down 5 or 6 points. I thought, you know what? it's over. They played well. They didn't let the game get out of hand, but it's over. No, they come back and tie the game up. Made it even seem like they were about to win or force overtime. And if they did force overtime, I think they would have won because they had all of the momentum. That takes a lot of composure and a lot of poise to be able to do what they did last night, to be able to put up the fight they did. However, it don't matter. It don't matter. Fight, poise, composure, it's all the same in the face of LeBron James. It's just not fair what LeBron James could do on the basketball court. It's not fair. First of all, it was the block on Victor Oladipo's potential game-winning layup, which Victor Oladipo said was a goaltend.
We came and set a screen. He switched on to me. I got a step on him. Felt like I even got grabbed on the way to the rim. I tried to shoot a layup. It hit the backboard. Then he blocked it. There's replays I guess you guys can see. I guess it's a tough play at the time for him, but it was a goaltend.
And look, that was a goaltend. Victor Oladipo laid it up off the glass. LeBron James pins it against the glass and was already on the glass, so technically it's a goaltend. However, I mean, we get caught up on these little things that happen towards the end of games. Throughout the big picture, throughout the entire game, so many things happened that could have influenced the way the game was played. Missed calls, bad calls, both ways. And even if you want to say that it was a goaltend, all right, let's say Victor Oladipo gets his 2 points. Well, guess what? The Cavs still win because LeBron James hits the dagger 3. Instead of losing by 3, the Pacers would have lost by 1, if that helps you feel better. And speaking of that 3 that LeBron James hit, after he hit that, the whole state of Indiana just went night-night. I looked out my window, and even all the way out here in Michigan, I just saw all the lights in Indiana go off. Everyone went to sleep because that's all they could do at that point. They cried themselves to sleep. That's what LeBron James did to an entire state. Look, I can only imagine the amount of pain that Pacers fans felt after they saw their team put up one heck of a fight only to lose like that at the buzzer. Here's the thing though. Here's my final verdict on this series. I think it's going to go to 7 games. It's going to 7 games. Indiana has already shown us that they're not going to back down from LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to put up one heck of a fight in game 6, and on their home court, they'll have the crowd behind them, and that crowd is going to be crazy. So I can see them pulling out a close win in game 6, and hopefully that will mean Victor Oladipo shows up as well, because besides game 1, the kid has been struggling for the other 4 games of the series. Like, it hasn't been good at all. 2 of 15 shooting last night. He was 5 of 20 the game before that and wasn't good the game before that or the game before that. So now with his team on the verge of elimination, it's time for him to show us whether or not he has that killer instinct yet. Back to my prediction of the Pacers winning game 6 though, the only thing that goes against them in that prediction is the fact that LeBron James, since he has returned to the Cleveland Cavaliers, is undefeated in elimination games. Every time the Cavs were up 3 games, he would win the very next game. So that is going against the Pacers. However, not putting too much stock into that, since remember, LeBron James had never lost a game 1 of the playoffs up until he played against the Indiana Pacers, this Pacers team. And LeBron James has never had to face a team as tough as his Indiana Pacers since he has returned to Cleveland. This is the second hardest team he has ever had to play besides Golden State Warriors in the playoffs since he's returned to Cleveland. You know, once again, I'm sorry, LeBron. I'm sorry for ever doubting or questioning or forgetting, in this case, just how dominant you can be by yourself in a 7-game playoff series. But LeBron was just one half of the equation when talking about how insane of a night we as NBA fans got to witness yesterday, when talking about the amount of greatness that we as NBA fans got to witness with our own eyes on the court yesterday. The other half was Russell Westbrook. Hold on, let me not give Russ all the credit. He deserves a heck of a lot of it, but Russell Westbrook and Paul George. But do you guys remember a couple of days ago when I was talking about Russell Westbrook and I said the man suffers from severe tunnel vision syndrome? He has tunnel vision to the max, and sometimes that can be a hindrance to him. Once he sets his mind on something, he goes all in for it and might even damage the rest of the team in order to try and accomplish it. Well, I don't take what I said back at all. The man does have extreme tunnel vision syndrome. In game 4, his tunnel vision was set on trying to shut down Ricky Rubio for some reason, even though the guy is a playmaker and he was trying to stop him from scoring. Wound up costing the Thunder the game. And in the first half of game 5, he had his tunnel vision set to, I don't even know, maybe vacation, because he wasn't playing good at all in the first half of game 5. However, pause. In the second half of game 5, the man had his sights on one thing. win. That's it. Russell Westbrook had his tunnel vision set to win. And this was the first time that I have ever seen Russell Westbrook so bent on strictly winning. The man did not care about stats. He didn't care about the fact that he wasn't going to get a triple-double. He wasn't out there assist hunting. No, he wasn't out there gambling on defense to try and get a rebound to get a triple-double. No, he wasn't doing any of that. He was just focused on winning the game. And when I saw Russell Westbrook playing in that second half yesterday, I was speechless. I was roasting him on Twitter and the Thunder on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, speechless. Absolutely speechless. I mean, he flat out erupted, both him and Paul George, with the Thunder down 25 points to the Utah Jazz in the third quarter. When I say that a player literally took over the game, I never meant it as literally as I do right now, because him and Paul George won this game for the Thunder by themselves, combined for 60 of the Thunder's last 67 points. Look, 60 of the Thunder's last 67 points. When I say that they didn't need the help of anyone else on the Thunder team, I mean it. They didn't need the help of anyone else on the Thunder team, because let's say you take away those 7 points that the rest of the team scored. All right, you take those points away, the Thunder still win by 1 point. 100-99 is your new final score instead of 107-99. Russell Westbrook and Paul George said, Carmelo Anthony, you absolutely trash. You ain't gonna do nothing. You don't even need to touch the ball anymore. We got this. We are not losing like this on our own home court. That's what Russell Westbrook and Paul George said. And they went out there and they did it. And they freaking did it. It was insane. I mean, that was Westbrook at his absolute best, ladies and gentlemen. If you ask me, that was the best game that he's ever played. With his back against the wall, dude turned into a completely different animal. That being said, though, the Oklahoma City Thunder still aren't out of the woods yet. It was a great game. It was a great feel-good game for any Thunder fans out there. But the situation is, you're still down 3-2 in this series to the Utah Jazz. And don't forget, this Utah Jazz team has shown that they kind of have your number. They were up 25 at one point in this game, and they blew you out the last game as well. And it took Russell Westbrook and Paul George to play outside of their minds for you guys to escape with this win. Meaning, Russell Westbrook and Paul George are most likely going to have to play at the same level they were playing at this game if they want to win this series. And what gets even scarier is the fact that Donovan Mitchell might have just pushed Russell Westbrook to the edge with some of his comments after the game. As after the game, Donovan Mitchell told some Thunder fans that there won't be a game 7, that the Jazz are going to win this in game 6. As he said, he'll see them next season.
Woo! Let's go! Hey, we'll see y'all next year, right?
Implying that there won't be a game 7. And I already know that Russell Westbrook is going to see this, and how he's going to react when he sees this is what scares me, because we all know Westbrook has a tendency to take things like this to heart, and he can get carried away when it comes to things like this. He can have a personal vendetta like he did against Ricky Rubio in game 4, winds up hurting the team. Westbrook is just extremely unpredictable when it comes to situations exactly like this. He's gonna come out with a lot of aggression, a lot of emotion, maybe even some anger, and whether or not he can control those emotions, control that aggression will be a huge factor and how he plays for game 6 and whether or not the Thunder are able to pull it off. All right, so the Toronto Raptors just avoided losing the series, and they just avoided losing, period. They would have lost everything had they lost yesterday. I'm telling you right now, if they were going to lose that game yesterday, if you're a Raptors fan, I just hope you wouldn't watch the video, because it was not about to be pretty for you or your team. But you know, thanks to Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, Toronto held on. And I do mean held on, because the Wizards were right there with them the entire way up until the Raptors made a couple of plays down the stretch. And you know, I'm happy for both Lowry and DeRozan, as they didn't crack under pressure at all yesterday. I'd even go as far as to say they kind of stepped up under pressure. They put the team on their back. DeRozan were 32 points and Lowry was 17 points and 10 assists. Also though, you know, there was that Wright guy off the bench. DeRozan and Lowry and Wright all stepped up for Toronto. Wright had 11 points in the fourth quarter, and even John Wall had to praise him after the game, saying that Wright made some big plays down the stretch, and whenever he plays at least 15 minutes, it seems like 9 times out of 10 the Raptors win the game. And I can see exactly why he's saying that, since in the 3 games that the Raptors have won in the series, Wright was pretty big in all of them. I mean, low-key, Fred VanVleet dealing with some injuries that have kept him out of the games might have been a good thing for the Raptors, since he's opened up some opportunities for this guy. But that being said, since he's opened up some opportunities for this guy, and the Wolves have officially been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. And look, Even though all the games they lost weren't close, I'm not mad at the last 2 losses. I'm not mad that they lost yesterday. I'm pleased for the most part with what I saw. They were at least out there trying. Jimmy Butler, for all but I believe it was game 3, was terrible in the series, and I'm pretty convinced he was out there playing injured because the man was awful. Like I said, he was injured, so I'm not going to hold it against him. And Wiggins, he wasn't jacking up as many shots as he was in the regular season, so I'm not going to be too mad at him, but I still firmly believe that he needs to go and he's going to get traded. And Karl Anthony Towns responded well to the criticism that he was receiving after his first 2 games, as he was dominant ever since then. So overall, I'm happy with the effort that was given out there for Minnesota. Next season, they just need Butler to be healthy. Trade Wiggins for either a couple of nice rotational pieces or a player who could be better suited for the third option on offense. And on top of that, all they gotta do is get rid of Coach Tibbs. It's nothing personal, but I just don't trust the guy. I don't think he's that great of a coach, and I don't like how many minutes he plays as starter. It's almost cost Jimmy Butler his knee this year, and I'm getting him out of there before he finishes off Butler or damages Towns. On to Houston though. If they once again play dead for the first half of this game and then just put it away in the second half, they are exactly like the Warriors in that sense, where maybe they're just not as interested to start the game. I don't know, but they're not interested, or they don't seem like they are until they need to be. When they need to be, they'll just flip the switch and end the game before you know. Whoever does win the series between the Jazz and the Thunder, you got your work cut out for you in the second round. That's all I'm gonna say. You really got your work cut out for you in the second round. Also, message to Chris Paul. This is your chance. Prove, please prove that you can get out the second round, because if you lose in the second round this time when you're part of this Rockets team, oh, just retire. Just retire, Chris Paul. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Smack that like button if you did, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you everyone once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!